All right, so if you're considering moving to Metro Detroit, Michigan, you guys, here's the truth. You could spend months comparing cities, neighborhoods, and just the suburbs of Metro Detroit and still feel completely stuck in your decision. So in today's video, I've decided to put the 5 most popular cities in Southeast Michigan in a little head-to-head, little battle royale to see who comes out on top.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner!
In today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at the schools, the lifestyle, the commute, home values, and even how much homes have appreciated over the past 5 years in each of these cities. So my hope is by the end of this video, you'll have a pretty good understanding of why these cities are some of those popular cities here in Southeast Michigan and what they could offer for you and your family. And at the end of this video, you guys, I'm gonna tell you the exact city I would personally move to if I had to move again today. So make sure you stick around. What's going on, you guys? If you're new to me and new to my channel, my name's Eric, and I help people just like you make that move here to Michigan, but we do it in a way that actually fits your lifestyle. And today we're gonna break them down round by round with a simple scoring system so you can see which city really comes out on top. So without further ado, let's dive into it. And the cities that we're taking a look at are Northville, Brighton, Rochester Hills, Birmingham, and the Grosse Points. Now we have a rating system and we're going to score each of these for each category and we're going to tally them up at the end and see who's the clear winner. All right, so ding, ding, ding. Round number 1, we are taking a look at schools and education in each of these cities. Now, first up is Northville. It's got one of the strongest public school districts here in the state. They do have smaller class sizes and the parents are super involved. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Next up is the Brighton district. Great district all around, especially strong in extracurriculars and special ed programs. You also got some great sports activities. For those reasons, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Next up is Rochester Hills, and it's highly ranked across the board. Got great test scores coming out of Rochester, modern facilities, strong athletics program, and a great STEM program as well. For that reason, I'm ranking it a 5 out of 5. And for Birmingham schools, this is one where you get a lot of locals that say it kind of feels like a private school. Even though it's surrounded by a lot of private schools in the Birmingham and West Bloomfield area, Birmingham is consistently ranked for great academics, great test scores. They got a great arts program. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. And for Grosse Pointe schools, they do have a long-standing reputation for great sports, high test scores, but some of the elementary schools are not as highly ranked. So for that reason, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. So when it comes to schools and education, if your number 1 priority for your kids is their education, Northville, Birmingham, Rochester Hills are the ones to beat. So moving on to round number 2, we are talking about the lifestyle and the community. Now, this is a big one for a lot of people, and you hear me talk about this on the channel a lot, you guys. It is all about the lifestyle and the community. A lot of these places in Southeast Michigan offer a lot of different things. So in this round, we're taking a look at the lifestyle and the community. And first up, we're taking a look at Northville. Now, charming, walkable downtown, family-centered vibe. It's got a lot of historic homes. It's got newer homes. This has got big homes, small homes, a little bit of everything, and it does have some nature. So for the score that I'm giving it is a 5 out of 5. And for the lifestyle in Brighton, it's a very outdoorsy area. You got lakes, trails, think bonfires. You get the true Michigan lifestyle here in Brighton. The downtown's very charming, very walkable. I would say some of the homes here can be a little bit older. They do have some new construction homes in the Brighton area. There are some more established subdivisions with larger homes, on lakes. But for the most part, what you're getting is a lot more kind of laid back country lifestyle in the Brighton area. Very outdoorsy, but you got the conveniences of everything. And just FYI, I'm not biased. I live here in Brighton and I am scoring it a 4 out of 5. And when it comes to Rochester Hills, this is very much kind of the suburban feel in Rochester. You got access to downtown, you got events, you got shops, you got restaurants, you got places to go. There's a little bit of a nightlife, in Rochester Hills, but it's not too crazy as like Royal Oak. So when it comes to Rochester Hills lifestyle, very family oriented, downtown, outdoorsy, suburban feel, but a 4 out of 5. And when it comes to lifestyle in Birmingham, the best way to describe it is more polished. The downtown is absolutely beautiful. You got higher end restaurants. You've also got a lot of boutique shops, a lot of designer shops in the Birmingham downtown area. And then the surrounding area, there's a lot of awesome homes. Okay. Birmingham has some of the most expensive real estate in Metro Detroit area, which we'll get to in a little bit. So for that reason, I'm scoring Birmingham a 5 out of 5. And when it comes to lifestyle lifestyle in Grosse Pointe. It is near Lake St. Clair, right on the water. So think a lot of waterfront activities, a lot of waterfront lifestyles, but yacht clubs, country clubs, and the tree-lined streets. You guys, the homes in Grosse Pointe on these streets, absolutely amazing. It does have a small town community feel. So for those reasons, I'm giving the lifestyle a 5 out of 5. All right, so round number 3, we're going to be taking a look at the homes and the 5-year appreciation to give you guys an idea of how much homes are appreciating in these areas, because the reality is if people want to live there, well, homes are going to go up in value. Okay. As more people want to be in that area, it creates a sense of demand and therefore increases home values. And I can tell you these 5 cities are outpacing a majority of the cities in the Metro Detroit area. So kicking things off with Northville for home values, the median today in Northville, if you were to buy a single family home, is $660,000. Now, 5 years ago, that was about $440,000. That's a 50% increase in appreciation over that 5-year period. So for that reason, giving Northville a score of 5 out of 5. And for Brighton, Michigan, the median home price is $450,000. And 5 years ago, that was sitting right around $320,000. Okay, that's a 41% growth in that 5-year period. So seeing some decent appreciation, we're going to give Brighton a 4 out of 5. When it comes to Rochester Hills, the median home value today is $499,000. 5 years ago, that was about $362,000. So that's about a 38% growth in appreciation in that 5-year period. We're going to give it a 4 out of 5. And for Birmingham, Michigan, the median home value today is $860,000. Just 5 years ago, that was $500,000. Okay, that's a 72% increase in home value over that 5-year period. For that reason, it's a 5 out of 5. And when it comes to the points, this is going to vary from the park to the woods to the shores to just regular old Grosse Pointe and the farms, but I just looped them all together. So when we're talking about the Grosse Pointes, the median home value today is $407,000. Now, 5 years ago, that was about $305,000. So that's a 33% increase in that 5-year period. So still seeing some really decent appreciation in the points. So for that reason, we're going to give it a 4 out of 5. So if you bought a home in Northville or Brighton over the past 5 years, your home value nearly doubled. And if you bought a home in Birmingham, holy crap.
Holy crap!
You got some serious appreciation and some serious equity in that home. All right, so round number 4, we're going to be taking a look at the commute and the location. Now, Metro Detroit is a commuter city. Okay, if you don't have a car in Metro Detroit, commuting to all these different places is going to be super difficult. The mass transit is just not here, you guys. Okay, so we are a commuter city. So commuting and location does play a huge role into lifestyle. Like, do you want to be driving 30 minutes to work, or do you want to be driving an hour to work? Okay, that might be your preference. But as we take a look at these cities and talk about the location, the commute times of things, these are super important to note. So Northville, super centrally located, easy to Detroit. It's about a 35 to 40 minute to Detroit. You got about a 20 to 30 minute drive to Ann Arbor, and Novi is just north of you. So you got good location to highways. You can get north on 96, which is going east and west. You can hop on 275 just to the east, and then you can skate down to Detroit as well. So location couldn't be better. 5 out of 5 for Northville. So when it comes to the location for Brighton in the Metro Detroit area, it is on the far west side of Metro Detroit. Okay, so good access to freeway, but you are a little bit more removed from everything. You're on the far west side of Metro Detroit. You got 23 running north and south, so you can get north and south down to Ann Arbor in about 15 to 20 minutes. If you need to head over to the east side, you do have 96, which will connect you with 696, and then you can get on all the major freeways, from there. But it is a little bit further to the west in the Metro Detroit area. You're about a 45 minute to an hour drive to Detroit, but I'm going to score it a 3 out of 5. It's not that centrally located in Metro Detroit, but it is a great location if you are going to be on the west side of Metro Detroit and maybe commuting to Lansing, Ann Arbor, and those are kind of your major areas that you're going to. And when it comes to location in Rochester Hills, this is one city that is a little bit further north in Metro Detroit. Okay, so you are close to 75. So if you do need to hop on a major freeway and cut into Detroit, that's probably pretty much the route you're going to take. But you are going to be about 45 minutes to an hour, from Detroit. It is on the north side of the Metro Detroit area, but it is great for the automotive industry. So if you are, linking up with people in the automotive industry, you work in the automotive industry, you got Auburn Hills right there. You can head down, to Novi. You can head over to Troy. You're kind of centrally located to a lot of these industrial hubs and office locations. So for that reason, I'm rating it a 4 out of 5. And when it comes to Birmingham, this is a great location in the Metro Detroit area. It's centrally located, like smack dab in the middle of everything. You got Woodward, which was the first paved road in America, you guys. If you didn't know that, Woodward was Highway 1, the first paved road in America, and it is connecting Birmingham to Detroit. Okay, you're about 25 to 30 minutes, into downtown Detroit. You're about 25, maybe 35, 40-ish to the airport, and this is all depending on traffic. So if you're commuting in the morning, and a little tip for you guys as you're looking at these drive times and locations, do these in the morning and at rush hour, like 8 a.m., 5 p.m. And if you're on the West Coast, adjust for the time difference. Okay, that's 8 a.m. is 5 a.m. your time. Okay, so look at the map or the commute times at 5 a.m. so you can get a feel for, like, is this an hour drive? Is it 30-minute drive? Like, what is it? So for that reason, Birmingham definitely gets a top rating, 5 out of 5. And last up, we're taking a look at Grosse Pointe, the location and the commute. And I will say this one really depends on where you're going to be working, what you do on a regular basis, and where you're going, because the Grosse Pointe area can feel a little bit removed. You do have the water on one side, so it's not like you can go any further east and get over there. So everything you're going to be doing is really going kind of west or north, kind of northwest as you cut through kind of like the Metro Detroit area. But if you are going to be going to Detroit and you want to be close to Detroit, this is a perfect location. Okay, if you want to be close to water, perfect location, for that. So it's got its pros and cons. So location, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. But if you are working, somewhere in like Birmingham or in the northern part, like maybe you would give it a 4 out of 5. Okay, but we're not splitting hairs here. It's a great location, really close to downtown. So if you're somebody working in Detroit, or maybe you just need access to the airport very frequently, I would say Grosse Pointe, Birmingham are definitely two that you want to pay attention to, and Northville as well, because it is closer to the airport. All right, so round number 5, we're going to take a look at each of these cities and how people view them from a daily life perspective. And this is anecdotes, from a lot of my friends and family and people that live in these areas. So I've reached out to them and I said, hey, if you could describe each of these cities in a couple words, like what would they be? And here's what they shared with me. So first up, we're taking a look at Northville, and this was described as more of like a tight-knit community. Okay, family first, place where you know your neighbors, really cool downtown, place where you can grab a coffee, grab a book, and just sit downtown, and it's kind of peaceful. So they rated it a 5 out of 5. So when we take a look at Brighton, this one came directly from me and my wife. So we described it as more like relaxed, family-oriented, very outdoorsy. Okay, people love being outside, including us. Taking walks downtown, playing on the imagination station, just walking around the mill pond, grabbing a coffee and taking a stroll. That's one of our favorite things to do, in Brighton. So as much as I will say it is a great vibe in Brighton, I am rating it a 4 out of 5. And when it comes to Rochester Hills, the one word that stuck out to me as I got some, anecdotes from family members was like steady. I was like, what does steady mean? And I started looking into it more of like, the context of how they use the word steady, but there's steady growth, in Rochester Hills. The home values have been steady. The businesses downtown have been steady, long-standing, and just like the steadiness. So I grabbed that one, and this is what I'm bringing to you guys. Like Rochester Hills is steady, but 4 out of 5 for the ranking. And when it comes to Birmingham, somebody described it as more posh. Like they live there and they're like, yeah, we just love the posh lifestyle that Birmingham offers. The downtown's clean. It's got high energy. People are out and about all the time. They're running, they're walking, they got strollers, they got bikes. Like they're doing stuff, in the downtown area, and it's super walkable. So there's a couple parks nearby that you can walk to, but posh and high energy for Birmingham. So for those reasons, a 5 out of 5. And when it comes to Grosse Pointe, this one could not be more accurate. And somebody described it as an old money charm. Think yacht clubs, country clubs, you're close to the water. You got a lot of history and a lot of older homes in the Grosse Pointe area. So the vibe there, absolutely great. If you want that more family oriented kind of little quaintness and close to the water, but you got country clubs, amenities, right there. Awesome. So for these reasons, a 5 out of 5 for Grosse Pointe. All right, so round number 6, we're going to be taking a look at the real estate market, and we need to know, are we in a buyer's or seller's market in each of these cities? Because in Metro Detroit, we could be in a lot of different markets. Okay, we could be in a buyer's market in one city and a seller's market in another city. It could get down to the neighborhood specifically in some of these areas. So good information to know if you are looking to buy a home here in any of these cities. All right, so first up, we're taking a look at Northville, and Northville is 100% a seller's market. Homes are on the market less than 30 days. Okay, not a long time. These are going to be higher priced homes, but they're moving very quickly. A lot of people want to be in the Northville school district, and a lot of people love the location for a lot of the reasons I said in this video. So for that reason, there's a seller's market, and they're ranked 5 out of 5 when it comes to real estate. So next up, we're taking a look at Brighton, and Brighton is definitely a seller's market as well. When it comes to homes in the Brighton market, there's kind of 2 submarkets. You have homes that are move-in ready, that have been updated, and they're going to go quickly. Those are in the best neighborhoods. And then you do have homes in Brighton that could be sitting on the market a little bit longer. You might be able to find a deal, but they're going to move. They're going to eventually move, and somebody's going to buy them. But you do have time to maybe go look at those homes that haven't been updated. I call them grandma's kitchen. They haven't had a kitchen refresh or a bathroom refresh in about 30 to 40 years. Those may fall into a different category. But for all intents and purposes, Brighton is a seller's market, 5 out of 5. And when it comes to Rochester Hills, you're kind of in an equal market. Okay, there's a lot of new construction happening in Rochester Hills. There's older neighborhoods. You don't have to rush, for a lot of homes. There is still the certain subdivisions that if you find a move-in ready home, updates, yeah, it's probably going to go quick, but I'm not seeing Rochester Hills move as quickly as the rest of the market. So for that reason, we're ranking it a 4 out of 5. And taking a look at Birmingham, the real estate market is definitely split in Birmingham, depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for something in the price point of $2 million and above, those are the homes that are going to sit on the market a little bit longer, compared to the homes that are between $800,000 and $2 million. You got to remember, the median home price in Birmingham is $820,000. So anything moving around the $1 million mark, that's going to have a high velocity. As soon as we get into the $2 million and up, that's where homes are going to sit a little bit longer, but trust me, they're still going pretty quickly. And there's a lot of building going on in Birmingham. So there's a lot of new inventory and a lot of older inventory in the higher price points that are on the market as of today. So for that reason, I'm ranking it a 4 out of 5. And when it comes to the Grosse Pointe area, this market moves very quickly. There's a lot of homes that are on the market. They may sit on the market for only 1 to 2 days, and they are moving quickly. A lot of deals even happen off market in Grosse Pointe. I know specifically the Grosse Pointe area has a lot going on, behind the scenes. There's properties changing hands between just relationships, in the market. And we got a great relationship with a lot of agents, in the area as well. So Grosse Pointe, very much a seller's market. And if you're looking to break into the Grosse Pointe area, it's definitely something that you need to be aware of because those homes do move quickly. So for that reason, they're getting a 5 out of 5. All right, so now it's time to tally everything up. And here's the tally, you guys. When it comes to the rankings, Northville is ranked at 29 out of 30. Brighton got a 26 out of 30. Rochester Hills was 26 out of 30. Birmingham was a 27 out of 30, and Grosse Pointe was a 27 out of 30. Now, if I had to move my family today, okay, talking today, if you said, Eric, pick one of these cities that you need to move to based on these rankings and where school districts and values and just livability, the vibe, like everything. Like, you guys know I live in Brighton. I love Brighton, okay? But if I had to change anything today based on these rankings, I would pick Northville. And Northville has been consistently ranked one of the best schools, one of the best home values, some of the most beautiful real estate out there. It's got a great vibe, a great downtown, and it is growing. So if I wanted to park some money into a new home that is being built right near downtown, that might be a good idea for me today, but I'm not going to do it, guys. I'm not moving. Maybe, I don't know. But the winner for you guys really depends on the lifestyle. That's what it comes down to. Okay, and I can't stress this enough. We talk about great schools and the lifestyle and the vibe. Like, my best advice to you is get into town, experience these cities, see what they have to offer, and see if they're your vibe. So whatever the winner is for you, whether it's Brighton, Birmingham, Rochester, Grosse Points, or Northville, the key alignment is make sure the community feels right. So if this video helped you in any way, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you are considering making that move here to Michigan, whether it's in 1 month or 1 year from now, you guys do not hesitate to reach out. We can book a Zoom call, get a strategy session together, and we'll figure out what city is the right fit for you. So all my contact information is down below in the description. I'll see you on Zoom, or I'll see you on the next one.